Hey, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Also, theclinicaltrials.guru. Very proud I snatched up that domain. For those of you that are new, welcome. You may be watching on YouTube, the podcast, on iTunes, Stitcher, on the blog itself. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. It's free. I only send out about an email a month, and I create content to help research clinics or CROs and people who work within those industries or want to work within those type of organizations know more about this business. And so the way it works is you can send me emails, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. I'll keep you anonymous. And today I'm going to pick 3 emails that I've received this past week and give my commentary slash feedback to these questions, because I don't think there's always a right answer. I think there's many different ways to do things, especially when we're talking about best ways to recruit patients, best ways to maybe get a job in this industry. And the third question, I'll find it as soon as I see it. But there's no right answer. There's just commentaries and people's opinions. There are best practices, but those change constantly, as you'll see with social media and things like that. So anyway, send your questions, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. You can also call me 949-415-6256. I'll be happy to chat with you. I do consulting, so if you need help with that, I partner with different research clinics. We do recruitment. Whatever it is you need help with, me and my team can probably help you. And I'd be happy to talk to you guys. So anyways, let's get back right into the questions. So the first one is in regards to blogging and clinical trials. So I'm going to read the question. It says, "Hey Dan, I heard about your website through my sister who is involved with clinical research. I work as a patient recruiter for our site. We specialize in clinical trials for mental illness. I wanted to ask you about your knowledge on using social media to attract patients to our website, specifically through blogging. Is blogging an effective way to capture potential subjects' attention? What's the best way to do it? What approach should we consider when blogging?" So when it comes to mental illness, it's a little different, especially when it comes to schizophrenia, Alzheimer's disease. I mean, sometimes this population doesn't necessarily go online, but they are, and they're actually starting to be more and more involved with social platforms like Facebook, Twitter. Definitely learning how to use Google and navigate the internet and look for articles. But what you're really wanting to do when it comes to mental illness is target not only the study participants, but the families of the study participants. And so you want to get content, develop content around what maybe someone who's living with someone with a mental illness would be interested in. Things like how to care for someone with schizophrenia, warning signs to look for when someone's going to have a relapse of schizophrenia, how to care for someone with bipolar disorder, how to live with someone with bipolar disorder. I mean, there's so many topics you can write about. And if you don't want to do video blogs, you can do written blogs, you can do podcasts. Now, when it comes to recruitment for just any type of medical condition, whether it's mental illness, cancer, diabetes, whatever it is, blogging does work, but blogging should just be part of your arsenal. So you have your website, then you should have various landing pages on your website. And by the way, I help research clinics with this all the time, so just give me a call or send me an email, and I can help you guys out more. But oftentimes you have an advertising budget that sites rarely use. And what one of my startups does is we will build your website, we'll build a landing page for each specific type of study you have. We'll run Google Ads, we'll help you and your team develop a blog so you can write content and develop content around those topics. For example, again, if it's Alzheimer's study or if it's depression, warning signs that your loved one may suffer from major depressive disorder. Just have your doctors and some of your clinicians help out with these articles, and you can definitely get into a lot of different topics and rank pretty high on Google. Another thing you want to do is start blogging about your general local area, like your geographic area. So if you're in, I know where you are, but I don't want to give it away. So if you're in like Memphis, Tennessee, you want to start blogging about your specific area in Memphis, like your specific neighborhood. Have a podcast maybe, or just a blog about best restaurants in this area, best places to get to grab a quick lunch, best places to, I don't know, find coffee or tea, and have those blog posts show up on your blog as well, so that when people on Google just randomly looking for restaurants, because you're casting a wider net basically. They may know someone who has a mental illness and say, "Oh, this was, I'm here on this research clinic's blog, and yeah, I know somebody who could possibly benefit from doing a study with them or calling them." That's just another way to get more people on your website through blogging. Of course, when you get into social media, so your website and your blog should be like on the same place. The website, the blog, then you have your landing pages. Those should all be part of your same domain. Then you'll have social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram. Um, I really suggest you get my book. It's only $2.99, and I talk about all this. It's about 50 pages of just content about exactly what you should do with each of these social networks. It's called How to Recruit More Clinical Trial Study Participants, and it's on Amazon for $2.99. But in a nutshell, what you want to do is create content that's not just about research, not just about what you do, but about things that your audience is really interested in. Like, again, if you're in Memphis, Tennessee, it wouldn't hurt to start blogging or writing or at least posting pictures on Instagram or Facebook about the Memphis Grizzlies, or about maybe the University of Memphis basketball team or football team, maybe the Tennessee Titans. I'm assuming that's the team that people like in Memphis when it comes to football. So things that are not necessarily always related to research, because you don't want to bore people. People on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they want to be entertained more than anything else. They don't necessarily go there to get informed. So the problem with a lot of research clinics is they'll just put content out there that tries to inform people, and that's good. But what you really want to do, if you really want to capture their attention, is entertain first, then communicate and engage with them. Just like you and I would communicate about, just random things, not necessarily having anything to do with research, but it's understood that we also can do business together. This is the same exact thing on these social networks. And to get people to your blog and to your website is one strategy, but also converting them on Facebook or on Twitter is another. I mean, what difference does it make if someone wants to join a study from your website, or if someone wants to join a study based on messages you've been sending them on Facebook? They're still going to get in your study, hopefully, and it shouldn't matter. And it's all just they're all different tools from the same arsenal. Hopefully this helps. Again, my book can help a lot, and I've done tons of videos on this topic. So hopefully that helps. The bottom line is give more than you're taking. So don't always ask for things when you're on social media. Give, share, listen to what people care about, talk to them about that, whether it's the Cincinnati Bengals or a certain type of pizza. Talk to them about that kind of stuff. They'll eventually understand who you are and where you're from, and they're more likely to interact with you and do business with you, meaning join a study with you for you, if you develop some context with them first. So that's what I would do. Blogging is good, but try to always do things differently than other people, and try to think of ways to make your content found by more people, okay, and B, more effective in converting people to actually join studies. And you can do this in a number of ways. I can help. Next question is from someone who actually wants to work in the industry, and they ask, basically, they want to be a CRA, and they want to be a CRA, and they want to work for a CRO. So they want to be a monitor and work for a CRO. And it says, I've been trying to get a job as a CRA for months now, but with no luck. My background initially was financial research and project management. I finally learned all the ropes of clinical research and all the phases and therapeutic areas, but what I always get from the recruiters is that I don't have enough experience. Your interview with Maya encouraged me that there is still hope for me. I also finished my master's in business administration with a concentration in health science. Um, I hope you can help me. It seems now that I've learned about clinical trials, that's what I want to do, but I don't know how to get started. Uh, I'm launching a service where we're going to be bringing in people just like you who want to be CRAs but have no experience, develop their skills, get some valuable experience interning for my company, and then we'll send you out. Essentially, we'll be like those recruiters, like the headhunters. We're basically going to be the trainers and the recruiters. But for right now, and just email me about that. Send me your resume, and anyone out there, just also send me your resume. If you want to be a CRA, a monitor, and you're willing to intern for a few months, maybe a year before you actually get a job as a CRA, let me know. There's a lot of people in this position that I'm actually helping out now. So send me your email. Send me your resume, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. But my advice to you will be, whether it's with me or anyone else, intern somewhere, volunteer. Yes, you have all the education, you have all the knowledge, but you don't have hands-on experience. And at the end of the day, you need both. You need to know what to do when a patient is freaking out about doing a study, or in your case, when you're a monitor, what you do when a study coordinator tells you, hey, we tried to follow the protocol, but the patient is doing this, and the PI says we need to do this. What do you do? So there's no way to really know the best way to handle that situation unless you've been in that situation, either as a study coordinator, an intern, a research assistant, just in some way, shape, or form. You need to be involved and have real hands-on experience. So what I would say is intern immediately wherever you are. I know where you are, but I don't want to give it away. There's places there, private research clinics. If you ask enough of them to intern for them, they will say yes. Okay. And if you're willing to relocate to Southern California, let me know because I'm developing the intern program through my company under the Clinical Trials Guru. Um, so email me, but even if you don't do it through me, find a place to intern, do it for 6 months to a year, and then apply again. Guarantee you those recruiters are going to tell you you have enough experience now. And just do it. I mean, right now, if you're not doing that, you're wasting time. That's the only way you're going to get, unfortunately, right now, a position as a CRA with no experience is to actually have some experience. Final question, and these are good questions you guys have been sending. Final question, this is the one that was actually not coming to me right away, but it was a really good question. Yeah, here we go. So, they call it sponsor manipulation tactics. So this is for the research clinics who are negotiating contracts and budgets. And again, I'm working on a book, another Kindle book. It's going to be $2.99 on this very topic, how to negotiate contracts and budgets in clinical trials. It's not out yet. As of this recording, July 24th, 2014, it's not out yet, but I hope to have it out by August or September. We're writing it now. So here's the issue. It says, I'm an independent contractor. My job is negotiating contracts and budgets for sites that become my clients. So this is someone who's experienced with negotiating contracts and budgets. Recently, I had a bad experience where the sponsor went over my head to the PI and coordinator and threatened that if the documents were not finalized today, then they would lose the trial. It had been in their hands for over 2 weeks. I believe that they wanted to work with the less experienced individuals at the site and manipulated, threatened in order to do so. The problems were overhead percentage, quarterly payments with a 10% holdback. So this person tried to get totally away, and they tried to do everything I'm telling you guys to do for years is request monthly payments, not quarterly payments. Insist on monthly payments. Okay, overhead percentage, again, go to the blog and look at overhead policy. I walk you step by step through how to create an overhead policy for your site if you don't have one, where you can get at least 30% overhead. 10% holdback, sometimes there's nothing you can do about that. When I calculated out what the site expected to have earned by that first milestone, they asked for that in advance. So there's also an issue about an advance payment. I sent in a white paper and article regarding the hazards and pitfalls of quarterly payments. They never came back to me. They went over my head to scare the doctor. So in the end, the doctor accepted less than they had already agreed as the max, and he took the quarterly payments with the holdback. And this person saying, now I know he has taken a bad deal. I know that I was not inappropriate in my requests. I feel his trial has been put in jeopardy. And I feel my reputation has been tarnished, as now he's afraid to work with me, at least your reputation with him maybe. But I really want to know how you all would handle a sponsor that uses threats, lies, and manipulations to try to negotiate their contracts and budgets. Thanks. This question can have tons of answers. What I would say is, in the period that we are now as research sites, we're kind of in a downturn, so there's not that many studies as there used to be. Now, I see more studies coming out next year, 2015 and going forward, but right now, you have to pick your fights. You have to choose your fights. So if this is a really important study for the PI, then you may not want to negotiate that hard on that many points. The quarterly payments I agree with. You definitely want monthly payments. The 10% holdback, sometimes there's nothing you can do about that. The sponsors will insist on having that. And as long as you can get a decent overhead, like 30%, 25%, you're going to have to compromise a little bit. Okay, and then the advance payments, I usually don't see those being more than $5,000 in my 10 years of doing this. So again, if we were getting tons of studies where the PIs can kind of pick and choose which sponsors they want to work with, you can negotiate like this. You can play hardball. But if we're in the situation we currently are in, where there's not enough studies right now, at least at this moment, you got to pick and choose your battles carefully. And I think focusing on the monthly payments and a decent overhead percentage would have been fine. You can concede the 10% holdback, and the advance payment, just make it around 5,000, maybe a little more if possible. That's what I would do. It's unfortunate sponsors do this, but at the end of the day, this is a business. If they want to play hardball, guess what? They can play hardball. It's their study. Not much we can do, except you did all the right things too, sending the white papers. That's awesome. I think I'm going to start doing that as well when I negotiate budgets. You probably did everything you could do. What I would have done is, to at least not lose the relationship with that PI, is conceded a little bit and said, okay, we'll do without the quarterly payments, or we'll do with monthly payments. We'll give you the 10% holdback, and we want our 30% overhead percentage, or whatever overhead it is that you guys agreed on. Maybe that would have been able to help the situation a little bit, and the PI would have actually gotten a better deal had you have done that than just let him do it, make a decision based out of fear. I feel for you, it's a very tough situation to be in, but unfortunately, sponsors can do what they want, and right now, it's all about supply and demand. Basic economics. If there's a lot of studies out, the sites have the advantage. Just like in real estate, I'm a realtor as well. If there's a lot of homes on the market, buyers have the advantage. If there's very few homes on the market, sellers have the advantage. And right now, if you use that same analogy, there's fewer studies on the market, so the sponsors have the advantage. Hopefully that helps. That will change. Nothing stays the same. Everything changes. So this is kind of how to negotiate a budget during a seller's market or a sponsor market, if you will. Hopefully this helps. Let me give a shout out to my Clinical Trial Guru producers. And it's only 99 bucks for a lifetime membership, so email me. You get tons of promotion mentioned in every video. 99 bucks one time you pay it, and you're a producer for life. I'm only accepting 100. South Coast Clinical Trials, Sarah Elizabeth Siegler, Resolve Research Solutions, Accurate Clinical Trials, PTNR, Erdhart Clinical Research, Tradestone LLC, Breakthrough Clinical Trials, Kulkarni Law Firm, Biopharm Systems, Zymewire, Mosio, St. Paul Medical Research Center, Investigators Research Group, Phlebotomy Services, Atria Clinical Research Management, Rheumatic Disease Clinical Research Center, Clinexus Research LLC, Coastal Connecticut Research LLC. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. And this is Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com and theclinicaltrials.guru. Take care, guys.